Welcome back to Kin in Line. This is apparently part 100. I could be wrong. So we're still in London, and when you've got children around, or a child around, then toys come into the thing. And I must have drawn this forlorn looking, some sort of stuffed toy lying on the ground at some point, either in the UK or when we had returned. So my wife Robin won't be overly impressed with the sketches I did of her, but this was her wrapped up in a woolen blanket, sort of very cold, as you'll see in the next picture. So this is probably done at the same time, from a different angle. It's the same. I hadn't realized it, but she was probably asleep when I did these. Not overly flattering of one's wife, but at least it proves I'm not biased. I won't draw a beautiful drawing of her and then a horrific one of someone else. Now this is actually Robin, sorry. Again, not a flattering drawing at all, but she had this short haircut which probably didn't suit her. But life was quite tricky. I mean, raising a child by yourself. Her mom did come down from Leeds to help out at some point. I think we're back in the London Museum. This might have been where I drew this guy, old chap, reading a newspaper. Yeah, definitely back in. So these got separated from the others, but when I drew these art students sketching away, so here you have a guy facing some sort of, it looks almost the same shape as that sculpture I did in my final year at art school, but I'm not sure what it is actually. So he's got his hoodie on. Even back then they had hoodies. And here's another guy sketching away. So you can actually tell he's not really drawing. His head's over his page and he's not looking at the subject too much, I don't think. Always a little chance I've done something on the back somewhere, so there is one. Easter Island, so the UK British Museum has obviously got relics from its colonial past and so forth, and I suppose people aren't too chuffed with that, but short of going to Easter Island you wouldn't see one of these things, so at least I saw one in the flesh, as it were. I think this was done outside the Royal Academy of Arts, where there was a wonderful exhibition of Monet's haystacks. And it was the beginning of sort of summer, and the band was out there playing, string quartet or something, playing music, and there were flowers out, and quite a beautiful setting. And after Luke was born, we took him in his pram up to Hampstead Heath, and this is right at the top, Parliament Hill they call it, and these guys was flying kites, grown men with their hobby. Yeah, there's always a buzz of activity up there. One of the beauties of London is the UK generally, all the parks, beautifully maintained. And yeah, on one of my numerous walks around the city, I got this statue of Eros in Piccadilly Circus, I think it is. And this is actually our son Luke. Must have been about 6 months old. This must be later, because I see this as cola, it says on here, so that's South Africa. Here's a very quick one of Robin. Everybody used to remark about her eyelashes, how long they were. Still on, I guess. So this is Luke, and it's got a date. So you can see this is actually after the UK. We are in 93, early 93, and I came back in the beginning of 92. So he's about 2.5, 3 years old, yeah, I'd say. Just both of our sons had these blonde curls, as young kids. Yeah, as they say. So part of being in the UK was wherever I went, I sketched characters and stuff. This guy had very hirsute is the word. And it was done on the back of a NatWest ATM slip. As was this. You can't make up profiles like that. But I guess you can exaggerate them, and that's what I did. Another ATM slip. And another one. Not probably my best effort. Midland Self-Service, Acton. £100 withdrawal. A lot of money in our currency. So that's a classic character. So compare that drawing I did at art school of a hobo-looking chap with his ruffled clothes to this one. And I think you'll agree that I've come along somewhat. Interesting to see what this actually is. Way out, it's quite a thing. So 17 Charterhouse Street is, they don't even put the name on this thing, but this is De Beers Diamonds sorting house or whatever. It was just around the corner from our offices you can see where we were, first floor, 32, 33 Hatton Garden. And I had lunch with this guy. Look at this. I mean, as I mentioned, we were planning to hold a telephone link up with Julian Ogilvie Thompson on the 6th of March. So Andy Lamont, I can't remember what his position was, but this was the money here, diamonds and stuff. So even though I struggled with this guy's nose, part of the charm of the drawing is this focus on the nose. This guy might even have been African. Back then, I don't think there were that many people of colour, although having said that, Luke was delivered by a West Indies midwife at Hammersmith Hospital. So, and then we also had people of West Indies descent visit us as nurses after the birth to come and check up on how he was doing and so forth. I mean, that was the NHS. It was functional. You got service, they checked up on you, made sure he was feeding properly, etc. Here it's the lips that I focused on unintentionally, but I mean, it actually is what gives us the drawing character. I don't know who this woman was, but I think we'll have to call it quits as we contemplate this guy. And we'll come back to him next time. Cheers.